know people are going to disagree with this, but I don't really care. Hey guys, Happy New Year! I hope you have had wonderful holidays. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to an impromptu renovating vlog. We're gonna give my sewing studio a tiny little makeover. You may remember when I first did this room, it was only a couple of weeks, months ago. I did a full complete makeover video on this entire space and I was so happy with the way it looks. And I still am. I absolutely adore this space. It is one of my favorite places to be in the house. It really does fuel my creativity in the way that I hoped it would. But one thing I have noticed is that on camera it just looks a little bit bland. Like for example, when I'm sitting here, there isn't that much going on. And originally I had wanted to wallpaper the walls, but I wasn't sure which walls I would wallpaper, what type of wallpaper I would choose, and I was a bit worried that it might just be a little bit too much because there's a lot on the walls and there will be more going onto the walls as time progresses. But I just kept thinking about it, and then Black Friday came around and my favorite wallpaper store had a sale and I ended up buying some wallpaper. So this is the wallpaper that I got. It is a nice light background, pretty subtle, feminine, kind of girly floral prints. I think it really goes with that whole cottagey vibe that I have going on in this room. And I think this would just really help add that little bit of extra visual interest while still being nice and bright, bouncing the light off for filming, obviously. It has a little bit of texture. It has that kind of woven fabric-y texture to it, which is really nice. I have also decided which parts of the room I'm going to wallpaper. Since this is an attic space, it's kind of weirdly shaped. We have this, like this roof extension. What's that called in English? Let me just show you. So basically this is the center of the house. This is the highest point of the roof. And then here we have this little like extension going out, which is the majority actually of the size of this room. Really helps make it bigger and more usable. But since this is here and it doesn't span the entire width, as you can see, of the room, we have some awkward corners and angles around here. So I'm gonna have to work around that somehow. But I did decide that the parts I want to wallpaper are this wall, obviously, that's a given. That is just a regular wall. And then I'm gonna wallpaper this. I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. So this, I'm gonna wallpaper this. I'm gonna treat this as a ceiling. So this bit is gonna stay white. I want to wallpaper that triangle right there. And then I'm gonna leave all of this white. This side as well, that part is gonna stay white. So basically what I want to do is sandwich the room between two layers of wallpaper, because I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. Let me just show you. So here we have a very similar situation going on, and I would like to wallpaper all of that, including that bit right there, this right above the door, this whole triangle over there, and then this bit, especially this bit, because that's where I often sit and film, and I feel like that's just a little bit plain looking and it needs a little something. I just hope I have enough. If I have enough, I would like to maybe wallpaper the column that goes down the center of that wall as well. But if not, I might keep that bare, because I've been toying with the idea of maybe one day building a type of fake fireplace over there. I think that would be really, really lovely. But for now, I'm just gonna see if I have enough wallpaper. I got 2 rolls. I think that should be enough. Besides that, it's also really time to add some curtains, because it gets dark so early now, and I feel like everyone can see me in here when I'm working at the end of the afternoon. So it's time to finally get my curtain rods up and sew my curtains. And then I want to stain the beams. We finally got the stain that we're going to use. We used that on all of the stair railings, and we want to use that on the dining table downstairs as well. And I want to use it here so that everything just pulls together. It's a really lovely kind of neutral warmish, I guess. They call it walnut, warm walnut, but I don't think it's that warm actually. I've seen much warmer browns. And I think that's actually the first thing I'm gonna do, is get to those beams. I'm really excited. Let's get started. I love it. I love it. It looks much more, it has much more depth like this, and it goes really well with my desk over there. It's pretty much the same color, so yeah, very happy with this. So next up, I'm going to pre-treat this area right here. We had this done anew when we had all of the ceilings replaced in here, so that is still untreated. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my curtains. Obviously, these are way too long. The window is just that high. So I'm thinking of using them horizontally because they do have this really lovely scalloped edge. I'm trying to figure out the length because the full length is too long and half of the length is too short. So in the end, what I arrived at is this, and I think it might actually be kind of cute if I just sew along there and leave this, so that the top is like this double curtain and it has this scalloped edge down like a third of the length. But I'm not sure if that is weird or cute. I might give it a try and see how it looks. Maybe I'll just baste it. It would be the simplest thing to do in any case, that's for certain. I like this. I just safety pinned this shut because you can't pin a fabric like this. The pins just slide right out. So it's not safety pin, so I figured I might as well try it out. And it looks good. So I'm now gonna just sew this and then do the other one. And then the curtains will be finished and ready for hanging sometime later this week. Let's wallpaper. I have my glue here, I have everything I need. I'm gonna start by just drawing a line so that I'm sure everything is level. So I have my level. I cannot wait to see how this will change the room. Really excited. Let's get started. I just realized I don't actually know how this pattern connects because it doesn't actually connect. The edges on both of the panels are just white. There's no overlap in the pattern to tell me where to put the next roll. Oh gosh, I don't want to do it just randomly, but there's like no indication whatsoever of how these should go together. I was not expecting this. I decided to go for just random, and it actually works, which is fantastic because now I can just keep going and I don't have to lose any paper to trying to pattern match. So yeah, this is just literally wherever I cut is gonna be the top of the next one, and I think it looks great. Alright, it's time to finish this wallpapering. So yesterday I did that corner of the room. Absolutely love how that turned out. This really is doing exactly what I hoped. It looks so warm and just complete like this. So I have that wall still left to do, as well as the one that you are sitting against right now. There's a slight issue though. This is the amount of wallpaper I have left, which is not a lot. So I think I think what I'm going to do here, I know people are going to disagree with this, but I don't really care. I'm only going to wallpaper the top. There is a pretty large chest of drawers there that covers up most of the wall. So I'm just going to wallpaper right up to that. So I'm only going to do the top here, the visible bits. I should hopefully have enough to do that. And then the last remaining wall was a little bit of an issue anyway. It's that wall right there, and it has the heater in front of it. And I don't really have a way right now in winter to remove the heater. It's a fairly complicated process. And I don't really feel up for trying to wallpaper behind it. So I'm thinking I might just leave that wall white for now, especially considering that I don't have enough wallpaper anyway. And I'm definitely not going to do that center bit because I don't have enough. That will be the longest strip. So yeah, there's definitely not enough to... Oh no, this is everything. This is everything. Do I attempt to wallpaper that wall and just run out halfway through? Oh no. Okay, no, I am gonna give it a try. Fingers crossed for me, guys. Let's do this. But first I'm gonna hang my pegboard up again. I've marked a line here where the wallpaper needs to reach in order to be hidden behind the cabinet. So I'm just going to draw a little line across the entire wall. There is one bit of wall that is visible from the top to the bottom right next to the cabinet, but I have this cutting. This long cutting that I cut off of the mirrored flip side on the other side. And I think if I just use this, that might be wide enough to cover that whole bit. So I'll just stick this onto here. And from here on out, I'm only gonna cover the top bit. Fingers crossed. I just wish wallpaper wasn't so expensive. Somehow, miraculously, this worked. It looks like a fully wallpapered wall. I did have to piece all of this together out of cuttings, and you can tell when you look from up close, but who's ever gonna look up close in that particular corner? If I hadn't pointed it out, you probably wouldn't have noticed. And this long bit down the sides worked perfectly. It's great. It looks like a fully wallpapered room. And I don't mind that the center isn't done. I think it does look nice like this as well. The last thing is I would really like to do, whoops, that little triangle up there. It's made of wood and it bothers me. I don't know. I think it would look really nice if that was wallpapered. So I'm gonna see, I still have a bunch of cuttings left, triangle shaped ones. So I might just wallpaper that little bit upside down. Now that all of the wallpapering is done, I'm ready to move on to the curtains, finally hanging those. So I have one more panel to shorten. So I'm just gonna hold it up against the first one that I have to make sure that they are the right length or the same length. So that should, I just installed the curtain railing holders. I guess is there a name for those? Just drilled those into the ceiling so I can hang up my curtain rod. And I can't wait to see what this will look like. I think it's gonna really transform the space and make me feel much more comfortable in it, which is important. Let's do it. Curtains are in. Absolutely love them. This is just what I needed for this room. A little bit of privacy, a little bit something extra. They make the whole thing feel very old-timey in the way that I was going for, so that's fantastic. So next up, I just want to hang up my dragon puppet that has been in need of a place for a bit now. So I think I want to hang it right here. That'll be a good spot for it. So let me just insert a little hook there so I can hang it on. It's done. Everything I wanted to do is finished, and I think I have achieved just what I set out to do. The room feels so much more cozy and homey right now. I've noticed that throughout the process of decorating this house, I am growing to dislike white walls. Larger spaces like we have here, a little bit of color on the walls or something happening is just a lot more exciting than just plain white walls. So I really feel like this wallpaper has elevated this room. There is just a little bit more going on in the background, and it does help to add a lot to the atmosphere in the room. I feel like this wallpaper really helps to sell those cottage attic granny vibes that I was going for, and the curtains, absolutely adore those. I think they were a great choice. They were super inexpensive. I think these were like 15 euros at IKEA, and they were perfectly in this space. I absolutely love the scalloped edges, and of course they do provide that little bit of privacy that I was looking for, and I think that these will help to diffuse the light just beautifully come summer when the sun shines in here a little bit brighter. And yeah, all in all, I'm just very pleased with how it came out, and I cannot wait to see how this room will continue to develop in the future. But that is everything for this video. I'm really excited to get back to sewing in this room next week. We're gonna continue on the pink glitter tulle dress. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more home updates as well as that sewing content, of course. If you would like to support me through Patreon, there's a link in the description box below. Thank you so much for your support. There is another video here that I think you might also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!